Okay, you ready? You ready? Oh. Again, just for everybody new that popped in, I have already made my review, so there is no way that they can like buy me off because the video's done, baby. So there's no change in it now. Sorry. So I don't want anybody to be like, oh, see, his opinion was bought. Which again, if I end up loving the game tomorrow, which you're gonna find out, then we're gonna get accusations of that. And then if I ended up thinking the game is kind of then people are gonna be very confused as to how they bought off my opinion to a level. So we'll see. Let's see. First things first. A mouse. A G502. That's kind of nice. That's a sexy little mouse. I already have 2 mice. I'm kind of swarmed with mice, so maybe we will do a little giveaway for this. How does that sound? Would that be fun? So, I mean, I freaking already have 2 mice. It's like, I'll just have a 3rd. Why not? Okay. Is there like, usually there's like a letter or something, like a note. Oh, there is. Hold on. I don't, it's like a birthday present. I don't want to open it before reading the note. Okay. It says, "Hello, Explorer. We're excited for you to embark on your journey in Starfield, the first new universe in over 25 years from BGS. As you suit up to join Constellations for your own one-of-a-kind adventure in the Starfield universe, we've sent you the Starfield Elgato Stream Deck Mark II, ooh baby, to level up your content creation. We also teamed up with Logitech G to enhance your gaming experience with the G502 X Plus gaming mouse. If you'd like to share about this gift alongside your fun moments playing Starfield on socials, we'd love to see your reactions and encourage you to tag at Starfield Game and at Bethesda. Safe travels from the team at Bethesda." Look at that. How nice is that? It's very nice. A letter has 16 times the detail. You're damn right. You're damn right. So... oh no, you can see my knee. Oh no. For shame. Let's look at this first. So we got the mouse. We've seen that. This is the Stream Deck Mark II they were mentioning. And okay, is it just white? Oh, actually though, that's pretty sexy. That's pretty sexy, actually. That's pretty hot. She thick, boys. She thick. That's nice. Now, I do have a couple of Stream Decks already. You know, I've got the XL, as you can see. But I don't think another will hurt. So I guess there's that. That's super cool though. It's actually like custom. Like either way, a free Stream Deck is a free Stream Deck, but you know, I was like, oh, I hope it's actually custom, and it sure is. How long's the review? Probably about half an hour. Just about. I wanted to make it like 2.5 hours because that's what my notes would have made it, but I decided that that was not reasonable to do. So we're gonna save most of that for the critique. Trust me, like we're trying very hard to get into like what we need to do to give you an idea of what the game actually is and how it works. So you can kind of make up your own mind. But that being said, there's like, the game is obviously, and we've known this for a long time, the game is freaking huge. So to like really delve into a critique is going to take a while, you know? Okay. And then this, let's see. Oh God. I believe that's it. It's a beautiful box though. Let's see what it is. Oh. Little Starfield print on the back. Flight Crew Frontier on the front. Has a little like 70s style NASA flag on it. Little shoulder pocket too. Oh, and the big patch. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's not a full flag. It does kind of look like a pride flag, but it's not quite. HBO sent me a big Carhartt jacket. Oh god, dude, I look like a Michelin man. Oh, it's so big. It can go like, hold on. Look at this. It can go like there to that side. So just zipped up. What do you think? Oh baby. got a bit of the gut there too. Oh dude, it's already really, really hot. Oh, that's gonna work for the winter. Oh baby. She toasty, boys. Hold on, we have to say thank you. Thank you, Todd. I brought him downstairs from my bedroom just for the review filming and for this. So he's always with us. Oh, didn't that Fort Solis game come out? Yeah, it did. It totally did come out. This like totally slipped past me. I had no idea this even released. I know we were talking about it, but Fort Solis, this was a game that has like Roger Clark acting in it, and it just totally slipped my mind.
Put a few humans in outer space for a story set in the future, and the result always seems to be that nothing will go their way.
And Troy Baker.
That's once again the broad strokes of this latest space thriller, Fort Solis. But the intrigue, as ever, is in the details. Developer Fallen Leaf does a good job of hiding the satisfying answers to its central mysteries up until the very end, which makes its story consistently absorbing even as some of its gameplay elements betray its own Hollywood-inspired intentions.
Hey! I'm still in there!
You need to get out of there now!
Fort Solis is a third-person adventure game that tells a story reminiscent of Moon in 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's slow, sometimes to a fault, and more concerned with its message and themes than action set pieces. That doesn't mean it's a low-stakes tale. On the contrary, the secrets tucked away in Fort Solis are existential, but it's expressed through the eyes of a small cast of interesting characters whom you'll get to know over the game's 5-hour story. Fort Solis has AAA aspirations, and it shows quite clearly in a few ways. For one, the game looks gorgeous. Built in Unreal Engine and presenting gameplay in an over-the-shoulder style, it would be easy to mistake this indie for the next big-budget cinematic thriller. That's further solidified by its exceptional cast, headlined by Roger Clark and Troy Baker. But the complete cast of about 10 or so people is just as well written, with great performances to match. Clark's Leary and Julia Brown's Jessica Appleton do well to color in the world in the first hour, including their own characters who would otherwise be amorphous Mars transplants in drab uniforms.
I mean, that's just kind of what it looks like, though. This is the tough thing with games like this, though, is that they don't show very well. They don't look great in trailers or anything like that. And especially when the gameplay is mostly walking around investigating stuff, it just doesn't... It's not very exciting compared to some other games like that Space Marine 2 trailer we just looked at, where it's just, you see the gameplay and you're like, ooh, I want to play that. That looks engaging. That looks fun. It's really hard to convince somebody to pony up a lot of money for this. Maybe it's a really good fit for Game Pass, but that can sometimes be damning. If somebody's like, their impression of your game is, well, if it's on Game Pass, I'll try it. You know, like that's a dangerous thing.
So you hated it?
I wouldn't say hate. I wish he had done more.
How could he possibly have done more? They were surrounded by zombies.
In Fort Solis's vision of the year 2080, we've yet to occupy Mars as a species, but corporations have made it a mining and research hub. I bet you can guess how that's going. As a skeleton crew stays behind to work what is essentially a weeks-long graveyard shift on the Red Planet, a distress call across the facility alerts Jack Leary to an issue within the titular research lab. The game ramps up its drama at a pace that pulled me right in, where early chit-chat and jokes over the radio with his scene partner, Julia Brown's Jessica Appleton, soon grew more stressed as doors appeared sabotaged, then dire as bodies started to pile up.
Jack?
It's the guard. He's dead.
What?
Paced to unfold like a miniseries meant to be marathoned, the central question of what happened on Fort Solis is expertly hidden from full view
That
for
booty,
nearly
though.
the entire game. It's presented in a visual one-shot style without any loading screens, dangling thread at a pace that kept me both guessing and playing. I was impressed by how well it shielded the truth of the matter while simultaneously drip-feeding a lot of details over time. It does this largely through video gamey methods, optional audio and video logs, as well as emails. Though that approach is far from novel, it feels justified in this universe where workers are recording messages to send back to their families on Earth or cataloging some of the facility's recent dangers to cover their own liability concerns. This ample number of optional clues led me to carefully examine everything I could find. For example, not just the words in an email, but the date it was sent, who wrote it, and whether I'd already seen the other side of the conversation. I was trying to reveal the magician's prestige before they presented it to me. I never did figure it out any sooner than I was meant to, which kept me engaged and ultimately satisfied.
This does seem like one of those games I might actually kind of enjoy, frankly. Like, it's a quick game, you'll get through it in an afternoon or an evening. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, clunky gameplay, but overall the characters and story what keeps it going. It was so enthralling, make something similar in the future. Yeah, if we were in 2015, this game would have suffered the same fate as The Order 1886, but I'm glad we left that kind of bland judgment behind in 2023 as more mature community. I'm definitely going to give this a chance at full price. Yeah, I think that there is something to be said for cinematic games that are focused on story. And, people say, oh, it's just an interactive movie. Yeah. True. Why is that inherently bad? Like, I don't think it is inherently bad. I think there's a place for games like this in the industry, and I would like to support them. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll try it. Maybe we, the one thing is that it seems that this has generated like almost no interest at all. I didn't realize it came out. I had no idea. Let me see if it's even on Steam. Fort Solis. Oh, it's only $25 as well, dudes. It's only $25. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe we'll play it on stream. Maybe we'll do that for like a members only stream or something, or just a late night stream. We'll just play through this whole thing. That could be fun. That could be interesting. Still better than Redfall and Golem. Yeah, those games just don't have a lot of gameplay, and then they're also like, their stories are terrible and are dreadful.
Daniel Bland super chatted $5. Do you think with recent news of departures, restructuring at BioWare, that they can ever reach their previous heights, game-wise?
That's a good question. I actually had this story pulled up to talk about like on Monday, and I just totally forgot to because we ran out of time. But yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar, BioWare, so I mean, we can just read exactly what they posted. This was on the 23rd, so about a week ago. They said, today, rather than discuss one of our upcoming projects, I'd like to share an update about the studio itself and outline our vision for BioWare's future. In order to meet the needs of upcoming projects, continue to hold ourselves to the highest standard of quality, and ensure BioWare can continue to thrive in an industry that's rapidly evolving, we must shift towards a more agile and more focused studio. It will allow our developers to iterate quickly, unlock more creativity, and form a clear vision of what we're building before development ramps up. To achieve this, we find ourselves in a position where change is not only necessary, but unavoidable. As difficult as this is to say, rethinking our approach to development inevitably means reorganizing our team to match the studio's changing needs. All of this is like a fancy way of just saying we're eliminating 50 roles at the company. I mean, they are still working on Dreadwolf. They're not abandoning that. Does anybody know how big BioWare is? BioWare 320 in 2019. So I mean, we're talking like a 15 to 20% reduction in workforce, which is pretty big. That's pretty big. Now, to be fair, again, I have the background in finance, so I want to play devil's advocate a little bit. Sometimes companies are honestly too big, and especially after debt being so cheap over COVID, a lot of companies were able to basically borrow free money because rates were lower than inflation, which means technically if you borrowed money, holding that money, doing nothing with it, would actually make it grow because inflation was slower than the rate was. Like it breaks math. It just breaks your brain. But debt was so cheap that a lot of companies went out and it expanded, hired more people, built extra teams and stuff that they frankly didn't need, but they could do it because debt was so cheap. And that caused a lot of these companies to overexpand. Microsoft famously has laid off tens of thousands of people at this point because they expanded too much. So it is the case that some companies just have ballooned up too big. And so now they need to downsize. What exactly this looks like, who can say? Unless you're in the company, we don't really know. But it does seem as though this is just unfortunate. Frankly, I would like to see the studio thriving, but I mean, come on, when you have 2 back-to-back flops, not just like, oh, one was a flop and one was like a B. No, like both of them flopped with a capital lop. Like it was not even close. And when you have back-to-back flops, it's just really hard to argue to executives why you deserve millions and millions and millions of dollars to keep your whole team up. You know, I don't see Dreadwolf happening before 2026, if at all. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they give them the time. They might force them to rush it out. Who knows? Who knows? What games? It was Mass Effect Andromeda, followed by, I believe it was originally called Project Dylan, that eventually became Anthem. And we all know how Mass Effect Andromeda went, and we also know how Anthem went as well, or how it didn't went, if that makes sense. Yeah, but Andromeda isn't as good as the original trilogy. No, exactly. Like, but the point is, like, it's just 2 games back to back that aren't what they needed to be. He took my thing. Red